What's up guys, HOTSHOTFRONTIER back at it again with another video. In today's video, I'm going to teach you guys how to counter white forest, or of course in the OCG, white woods. So we have a lot to talk about, but if you guys have not seen the how to counter Fiendsmith, definitely go ahead and check it out, and go ahead and drop a like on this video if you like it, and subscribe to the channel for more videos. But alright, let's get started with how to counter white forest. So let's talk about what the deck does, right? So it's a synchro strategy that consists of level 2 and level 4 spellcaster monsters that turbo out the level 6 and level 8s in the extra deck. So something that you do have to note is that the level 2s are non-tuners and level 4s are tuner monsters. Now, the deck has access to 1.5 card combos, so it's not a 1 card combo like Fiendsmith. You do need to add other cards to make the final end board, and also keep in mind that the level 2 monsters require them to have a spell or trap card to send from either field or hand to get off their effects. So also keep in mind of that. Now, this engine is very splashable with other decks in the game because it doesn't lock you into your own strategy, like very similar to Fiendsmith, where they don't lock you into only Fiendsmith monsters or dark monsters, or sorry, light monsters. So it's very useful that way. Going on to our first card, we're going to talk about the Asteria. Now, keep in mind that we're going to use OCG names and TCG names, but remember it's the same card, so let's get right into it. Asteria is really cool. I like it as a starter because Asteria, it's the level 2 non-tuner. It's one of 2 level 2 monsters in the deck, and this card, you can normal summon it, after the effect, send a spell or trap card from the hand or field to the graveyard, special summon your level 4 tuner, which will be the Sylvia, but we'll go into that later, from the deck. And if you activate a spell or trap card is sent to your graveyard to activate a monster effect while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card, which is pretty good. Next up, its counterpart, the Rosette. You can actually send a spell or trap card from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand, then add a White Woods monster from your deck to your hand, except of course itself. And it has the other effect of, if a light spellcaster tuner is special summoned to your field during your opponent's turn, while this card is in the graveyard, you can add this card back to your hand, which is pretty good in terms of resources. Next up, the Sylvie, pretty good for the combo. So after you summon that Asteria, this is a card you're most likely summoning from the deck. This will add you the Tails, which is your Rhoda for the deck, really, from your deck to hand. And this card is similar to the other level 4 for the second effect, because if this card is in the graveyard, quick effect, you can target a White Woods synchro monster you control or in the graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon this card, but its effects are negated. Going on to the other level 4, we have the Risia. So this card, it's pretty much like if you control this monster, summon it. It's like a Blackwing effect, which is really cool. The second effect is you can send a spell or trap card from the hand or field to the graveyard, draw 1 card, and then of course you discarded something like a White Woods card. You can set it, but we'll get into that of course. And the third effect, the same thing as the other card. Next up, we have the first and really broken synchro monster for this deck, Silvera, Witch Wolf of the White Woods. So this card, if it's special summoned, you can book a moon your opponent's cards, and this is not once per turn, by the way, so you can do this as many times as you want, which is kind of broken. The second effect, which a lot of the synchro monsters have, illusion or spellcaster synchro monsters you control, gain 500 attack. Also, if they attack a defense position monster, it inflicts double piercing damage to your opponent. And you might be like, oh, okay, that's not too much, but once you add up the attack and add up how many times like you're attacking with your monsters, it comes out to a lot. So definitely an OTK potential. Really cool card. Next up, the other level 6 spellcaster monster. Again, they're both synchro tuner monsters, which is very important. If this card is special summoned, you can send a 1 spell trap card from your hand to the field to the graveyard, add 1 White Woods card or 1 light spellcaster monster from your deck to your hand. So I like how it's generic. You can actually add something like Effect Failure from your deck to your hand. That's kind of crazy. Now, the second effect, illusion or spellcaster synchro monsters you control gain 500 attack. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Pretty good when you combine it with the Silvera, so keep that in mind. Now, our 1 level 8 light illusion synchro effect monster, we have the Diabel. So this card's cool because when it's synchro summoned using that tuner synchro monster as material, one of the 2, you can go ahead and target 1 spell trap card in your graveyard, add it to your hand, most likely the Tails for recursion later on, or if you want to actually go ahead and Risia on your opponent's turn, you can send that Tails to the grave and then its effect will reset, but we'll go into that very soon. And then the second effect, if your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can send one spell trap card from your hand or field to the graveyard and special summon a level 7 or lower tuner synchro monster from your extra deck, graveyard, or banishment. So you pretty much can go into a second Silvera. Kind of crazy. Now, we have our Tails, or the Legend, as is known in the OCG. If you control a illusion or spellcaster monster, add one White Woods monster from your deck to your hand. And then the second effect is similar to all the other spells and traps. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, set it on the field. Now we have the Whispers of the Sinful Spoils. The first effect is target one illusion or spellcaster monster you control, return that face-up monster to the hand or extra deck, then special summon one illusion or spellcaster monster from your graveyard or banishment. So if cards do get banished, it's good to have this card in hand just in case, but it's a great card, helps with the combo if you kind of get interrupted somewhere. Not a bad card. And the second effect, same thing. Next up is actually the third one, apologies. So we do have this one. If you control a level 6 or higher illusion or spellcaster monster, target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. So pretty simple. I wish this was like a quick effect, but it is what it is. The second effect is great too. And finally, the Woes of the White Forest, or White, Woods. Pretty much, you can synchro summon on your opponent's turn, and it will actually, first you summon a White Woods monster from your hand or deck, then immediately synchro summon. So you can go into that Silvera or the Racia, but I'll show you guys later on. And then the effect to reset this card, of course. Now, we'll get to the combo sequence, okay? Tell me if you guys do like this concept, because this is my first time doing something like this. So let me know in the comment section if you guys do want to see more in my how to counter guides. Now, this is just the White Woods, no variants. Let's just say a pretty basic combo sequence. Now, let's say you open up with an Asteria or the Estelar, as it is in OCG, plus one spell or trap card. It can be generic, let's just say Tarby's Feather Duster, non-engine, right? So, okay, normal summon Asteria. Effect, spell or trap card, you discard it. Special summon the Silvery of the White Forest from your deck to field. Silvery's effect will add you the Tails from your deck to hand. Cool. Synchro summon using both of those monsters, because of course Silvery is level 4 tuner and you have the level 2 non-tuner. Go into your Racia. On Racia summon, you can search your trap card, the Woe, by discarding the spell card that you just added to the graveyard. Pretty good, okay. Next up, mid combo, this is like Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. So you have your Asteria to go back on field, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Tails to reset itself. So you do that. Next, on Resolution, activate your Tails. You're able to add your Racia, which is your extender, to hand. Go ahead and summon it for free, special summon it, because you control something, your White Woods monster. Then discard the trap, the Woes, because we didn't set it, it's in our hand, to the graveyard. Draw off card, which is pretty cool. On Resolution, reset the Woes on field, because it was sent based off a monster's effect. Next, you take your Asteria and your Racia. So the Racia is the level 6 tuner synchro monster, of course. Go into your level 8, the Diabell, and because you did use that tuner synchro monster, you can go ahead and add your spell to hand from the graveyard, I believe, not deck. Might have been wrong on that one. Let me just double check. From your graveyard to hand. So just to clear that up, not from your deck to hand, but your graveyard. So that Tails, add it back to your hand for your opponent's turn. Now, we go into the opponent's turn, right? End of turn. You have two options. You can activate your Woes immediately, and you'll go ahead and summon the Elzette from your deck to the field. Synchro summon into the Racia for the effect Bailer into hand. Pretty good that way. Or you can hold off the Woes, wait until your opponent has enough monsters on field you feel like is suitable, activate it, Elzette, go into the Silvera because you're taking your Elzette and you're taking your Racia into that level 6. Silvera will of course go ahead and Book of Moon your opponent's field. And then you still have the second Book of Moon effect with the Diabell, because it'll bring back a Silvera or another Silvera, right? So you're pretty good that way. And again, combined with other engines or other cards, you can go further, but this is just your basic combo. Let me know if you guys do understand or have any questions in the comment section down below. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos. But all right, let's get further into this and let's talk about the White Forest variant decks. So I just want to say that there are several different variants you could be playing, but these are your kind of like main 6 that you will see around, starting off with the Toy Engine. So this one's really cool because it not only provides more bodies for more fodder for your spell and trap card discards, but gives you more bodies on field, XYZ summons, synchro summons. The toy box is broken, can summon both of them, which is really good. Now, let's talk about the Horus one. I think it's one of the best versions of it, that in Centurion. Horus Mseti is great because if it's on field, it's a spellcaster. You can activate your spell cards, your tail, because you need to have a spellcaster monster to activate it. If you control one, you activate it, which is pretty cool. It's a 1-card starter, right? Because, of course, you have it in hand, you send that plus 2 cards. Guess what? You can send the spell and trap cards. Get effects off that way. They summon back on field. You can make a rank 8, like Photon Orb, or something like Middle Knight. So has a lot of potential that way. I think it's a very solid option. Centurion is great because it can help you with summon the Auxilia for the Centurion, and then slowly get into your Centurion combos as you continue the Whitewood combos. The only thing is, you do have to run a slightly big engine in your deck, and you don't want to see Centurion engine in your hand. Most of the time, you'd rather see the Whitewood engine, but it's still a very good option. Can make stronger end boards. Next up, we have Exodia. Exodia is great because you can easily just place those monsters in your spell and trap card zone for fodder for your Whitewood's cards, of course. The only downside is that you're going to be paying a lot of life points if you don't have the Millennium Ankh in hand, right? But the bodies are strong and they can potentially go into something like Crimson Dragon, so definitely consider that. Next up, we do have Branded. The one thing with Branded is the fact that Whitewoods makes Branded stronger, but Branded does not make Whitewood stronger, if you know what I mean. So it doesn't work both ways, unfortunately, but it's still a good option for Branded. And then finally, another very strong option you can play with the deck is Runic. The reason because it's good going first and second. Also, the spells are great for consistency. You will have a lot of options to discard something. The second effect of the spells to bring back a fusion monster from your extra deck, right? Level 2 or level 4. So it's very manageable. I think overall it's great. The only downside is that it affects your battle phase. But if you can kind of stall into your next turn and then go for that OTK, pretty solid option, honestly. Now, we're going to get into some counters, of course. This is what you guys clicked on the video for. And of course, if you are familiar with the strategy and you're like, he didn't include that in there, let me know down below so we can talk about it and have a nice conversation, let other people know about it, of course. If you're new, definitely go ahead and let me know if you learned anything from this video. I'd appreciate it. All right, guys, let's get right into the engine. And we do have hand traps, right? So first off, Ash Blossom is always great against everything. Mostly the Rosette. So I'm gonna only put maybe like 1 or 2 cards that they're good against. But of course, if early on, they're amazing against those. Now, generally they're good against other cards too, but of course, Ash Blossom, stop the Rosette in the beginning. You can get to the Sylvie, right? So it's great that way. Ghost Belt and Haunted Mansion, Toy Soldier and Grave, great. It's good against other cards as well, but mainly the Toy Soldier, it's good against that engine. Infinite Impermanence, great against the Asteria. A lot of cards are good against the Asteria in the beginning. If you can stop that, then you're really good. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is great because it stops the toy box. Keep that in mind. Next up, part 2, we have Droll and Lockbird. It's good against the Silvery. So pretty much they go Asteria, normal summon, send that spell trap card, go Silvery, add the tails, droll them there. They can't even activate tails effect because you drolled. So it's kind of good that way. Ghost Mortar and Moonlit Chill is good against the Asteria, right? Infinite Permanence, not bad. Effect Failure, Asteria. Like I said, more of the level 2 starters are good against anything generically. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, if you can run the extra deck monsters in your deck, I would highly recommend the Silvera because that's the one they do most of the damage with. But if not, run one of each. Really, the Silvera and the Bricia. We'll go Silvera, Bricia, Diabel, but really just those main level 6 ones. Next up, No Grave. So these aren't the best against every variant, but Whitewoods themselves, these are amazing because a lot of the effects are recursion effects. They send to Grave, set back on field, or summon back on the field for a new synchro summon later on. So the Grave is where they all dwell, and if they're not sent to the Grave, they won't get those effects. So stopping that is amazing, right? If you can play D-Shifter, if not, it's okay. Abyss Dweller, make that, activate on their turn, you're good, you're solid. Now, excellent counters, same thing with that, right? Like Bestials are great against Toy Soldier, the tank, the White Forest monsters themselves, just amazing, and you have a free body. D-Barrier, of course, no synchro, they end your turn, which is pure, right? DD Crow, spot target specific cards that you feel are important and to stop them. You know, again, they're resetting those cards, so if you kind of can just stop that, then you're good going forward. Now combined with something else, you're even better. Power Filter has to be one of the best cards. It affects 3 out of 4 of the White Forest card main monsters in their deck, right? The only one it does not affect is the Sylvie, because it's about 1500. But other than that, everything else is lower than 1000. The other level 4 is like 800 attack. Kind of crazy, the extender. So going on to cards, you know, that I'm kind of asking you guys, should you play these cards? First off is Necro Valley. I would say yes if your deck can run it. Now remember, if you're going first, you have it, then you're good. You could, again, if you're going first, you don't have it, play something like Metaverse and then just activate it. That's also another way, but there are other options, like I said, in terms of just stopping your opponent from going into the grave. So consider that more than the Necro Valley. Moving on, we have the Destructive Daruma Karmic Cannon. Hey, you want to book a moon me? No, I want to book a moon you. Okay, that's that's how we want to run it. It's a great card because then they can't synchro summon, right, and keep climbing up. That's good to see. Even going into the next turn because they won't be able to flip on that same turn, so it's kind of just dead. Next up is Nibiru. Nibiru is good against them, right? It depends. Like if Barone was still around, then maybe, then really no, because they can make Barone. But now that it's banned, they were a little more, you know, open to that. But I'm sure there are ways, combo ways to kind of get around Nibiru and still do their thing. So do keep that in mind. And then we do have Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. I don't think it's the best card against them, right? You have to combine it with something else, but also compared to other decks in the meta, you're getting a lot more life with them compared to with this strategy, because a lot of them are very low leveled in terms of attack. That's something that you would have to consider, but let me know, of course, down below if you guys agree with my picks here, and would you play these against them? So definitely let me know. But guys, that's it for the remainder of the video. If you guys liked the video, make sure to give it a huge like, comment down below your thoughts, if we picked the right counter cards against this strategy. And if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you're updated the moment I upload new videos. Alright guys, that's it for me. Hope you have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.